Most men believe a woman becomes hooked through touch, through physical intensity. But here's the truth she'll never admit. Her body is only half the battlefield. The real war happens in her mind. The man who knows how to enter her thoughts, who can make her restless without ever laying a finger on her, that's a man she can't forget. Here's the one she dreams about. Here's the one who makes her stare at her phone, waiting for his message. Touch fades. Looks fade. But when you own her psychology, you own her desire. And today, I'll show you how to make her addicted without ever touching her. Her most intoxicating cravings aren't just physical. Touch excites her body. But the true addiction begins when you take root in her imagination. Any man can touch her. Few can haunt her thoughts. That's where desire turns into obsession. This isn't about force. It's about presence, the quiet authority that makes her feel both unsettled and drawn in. When you leave silences that force her to lean closer, when your calm confidence unsettles her in the best way, you're wrapping invisible hands around her desire. Women are wired to fantasize about surrender, not weakness, but the thrill of being wanted so deeply that control slips away. A man who can spark that without lifting a finger becomes impossible to resist. Anticipation is stronger than action. Neuroscience proves it. Dopamine spikes not in the reward, but in the suspense, the almost. The man who understands restraint knows his silence, his patience, his presence. These are his sharpest weapons. Most men underestimate the simplest weapon they have, their eyes. Touch excites her body, but your gaze? That enslaves her mind. Women feel exposed under a man's steady gaze. When you hold eye contact with calm certainty, you strip away her masks. She feels vulnerable, naked without a touch. She fidgets, laughs nervously, looks away, then back again. That's not boredom, it's desire. Eye contact builds tension because it makes her feel seen. Not just her beauty, but her essence. And once she feels seen, she can't forget the man who saw her. The key is balance. Hold it just long enough to make her heart race, but not so long that it becomes unsettling. The Stoic man uses his gaze not to beg for her attention, but to project calm authority. It tells her, I've chosen you, but I don't need you. That certainty is addictive. Most men fear silence. They panic when the conversation slows, rushing to fill the space with chatter, jokes, or compliments. And in doing so, they kill attraction. Silence, when mastered, is control. It's pressure. It's tension. When you pause instead of rushing to speak, you shift the rhythm of the interaction. She begins to fill the space, revealing more, chasing your approval without realizing it. Silence works like mental foreplay. Each pause builds anticipation. Each withheld word forces her imagination to race. Neuroscience shows dopamine rises in suspense, not resolution. That's why cliffhangers are addictive. Your silence is her cliffhanger. But it only works if you're comfortable with it. If you squirm, it backfires. You must sit in stillness like a man who owns a room. That composure makes her lean in. And when you finally break the silence with a simple phrase, its weight hits her harder than any speech. Addiction doesn't begin with hands on her skin. It begins in her mind. It's your gaze, your silences, your calm authority that make her restless when you're gone. Most men rush to impress, to touch, to take. The Stoic man understands restraint. He undresses her mind before her body. He makes her chase. He makes her imagine. He makes her crave. By the time he chooses to touch her, if he chooses, she's already his. Because women aren't addicted to men who give everything too fast. They're addicted to the man who leaves them hungry. The man who doesn't need touch to control. The man whose presence alone consumes her. So ask yourself, will you keep being the man who talks too much, chases too hard, touches too soon? Or will you step into the presence of the man who owns her mind before her body?